A lot of people ask me, Shane, what's it like to be an accountant? What's it like to work as an accountant and what's involved? Now, there is a lot, but I'm going to take you back to the very start. Because what happened was, I was initially in school and I enjoyed maths. Maths as a subject, doing sums and all. It was a preference of mine of every other subject in school. So this is how I started my path to become an accountant. Then I progressed into college and I studied a bachelor honours degree in accounting. From there, I moved on to another course where I did a master's in accounting. From then, I moved on to ACCA, which is the biggest globally recognized institution of accountants. And ACCA stands for the Chartered Association of Certified Accountants. Now, that journey took me 3 years to do my bachelor's honours degree in accounting, 1 year to do a master's in accounting, and another 3 years to complete the ACCA course. And from then I had two options. I could go into industry, be an accountant for a company essential, or I could go into an accountant practice where there's a lot of other accountants and I would have clients. Now, other things I was looking at that time is what area of finance or accounting did I want to do? I could be an auditor. I could do taxation. I could do financial statements, financial reporting. There's different aspects of finance or accounting that you can endeavour in doing. You don't just do one area of accounting, there's a whole heap of areas. So what I did when I left college, I went to an accounting practice and I was given an initial base of clients. Now, as a start, when you first start off, obviously your experience is limited. You've only just come out of college, so you do smaller tasks. You do bookkeeping, you do payroll. These tasks build you up so you can become a more established accountant. And through additional studies and through learning payroll, learning bookkeeping, learning VAT, corporation tax, learning basic accounting entries, you move on and establish yourself at the next step where you can prepare small to medium-sized enterprise financial statements. And after this, you progress onto bigger, larger corporation financial statements. And that's exactly what I did, as well as providing tax advice, doing audits on companies. So there was a whole host. I definitely suggest, as a person starting off, to get your experience in accounting practice, especially if their practice covers a whole host of different industries, whether it be the licensed trade, whether it be construction, or even industries that you are actually have an interest in, because that will help you more and you'll be more tuned in when you do the work. Now, from then, after I worked in a practice, I decided I wanted to be an accountant for a company. So that's when I progressed into industry. I was an accountant in a construction company, and there I did a whole host of tasks. I was in charge of providing all the directors and senior management in the company with sales reports. I was involved with giving all the auditors the relevant information, a half-year and year-end audit that they need to complete their audit. I was in charge of many balance sheet codes and ensured that reconciliations were done on a monthly basis. I was also in charge of the fixed asset register. I was also in charge of preparing the financial statements at the end of the year. There was a whole host of different variables in as a company accountant that you can be involved in. Now, there's many, like I said, many different aspects of accountancy you can look at. And a lot of people think it's a career where you have to know your maths, your knowledge. That's an incorrect assumption. While I did enjoy maths and did a lot of maths, a lot of people I know are accountants aren't from a mathematical background or never really did well at maths in school. Because of the financial systems that are used, that we effectively input the data in, even calculators are rarely used by accountants these days. The financial systems are doing all the calculations, even the basic debits and credits, at sometimes you do not need to know. It's just the way technology is now, that what was looked at priorly as an accountant, as an, oh, I need all this knowledge, and isn't really there anymore. Well, that's my opinion anyway. And I see this daily. Like, I could get away, when I worked as accountant, I could probably get away with a couple of weeks without using a calculator. Because the system does everything. The system, you input the data, calculates everything. Everything is very simplified these days. So that's just a quick summary and a quick overview of what it's like to be an accountant, what's involved. And if you're looking or thinking about being an accountant, I hope this helped you. Now, some people also ask me, well, aren't long hours involved? And they are, but long hours is involved at different times of the year. For example, if you were an accountant or a tax advisor and you're preparing tax returns, obviously the season where tax returns are due, then you're going to be naturally busier and overtime is required. But when that season ends, you're probably quieter then. And you can take your holidays, take additional time off, chill out, be with your family. So there is times that it's going to be busy, like every job. Times it's going to be busy, times it's going to be not busy. And another common question I do get is about how hard are the exams to be an accountant? Well, first of all, I went the full way to be a proper, fully qualified accountant. You don't have to. You could be a part qualified accountant. Or you don't even have to do exams. You might want to just be simple, just do general administration, account administration. It's up to you. Generally, it's up to you. Looking back, would I study another 9 years, well no, 8 years to be an accountant? No way, I wouldn't. That took too much effort, but that might be what you want to do. Now, I do enjoy my work. I enjoy working as an accountant because I've always enjoyed working with figures, and that's a good way you can analyze yourself. If you like working with figures and like preparing stuff that's based on mathematical equations and all, that could be an indication that you may enjoy accountancy. And then you can look at if you want to be an accountant for a company or work in an accountant firm with other accountants. Whatever you want, you know your best what you do want. So if you have any questions on accountancy, on how to be an accountant, on what it's like to be an accountant, or if you want a video on a day in the life of accountant, just leave a comment below. We'll have a look at that. Thanks guys, stay safe, talk soon.